I have made dumb videos my whole life. And yet somehow directing my energy towards this cause and this movement for the past week has made me feel more significant than ever.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in my life, I feel like the content that I'm putting out is actually important. Do y'all hear what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
This is a revelation for me. Bro, for 15 years now, I have been making videos purely based on entertainment. And although I'm positive with the Maverick movement, with my journey, I've inspired people. But this is on a whole nother level. The things we're saying and doing now at this particular window in time because of what's happening, because of the George Floyd injustice, and all we're doing is attempting to be an ally and amplify the voices of the oppressed. Bro, I actually feel like this stuff we're doing is important. And I can't believe I've never felt this before.
You feel like you're adding value as opposed to just distraction.
For the first time.
Nice.
It's crazy.
I want to stop you before somebody says that. I think a lot of people are scared to talk about their personal feelings because they fear that people will say they've made it into a me story. I enjoy you talking about this because I think it'll empower other creators to feel the same way. I think it's important to mention that it makes you feel good. I have always been one to stand up for people's justification and why they do things, regardless of what it is. I have never cared that much about, okay, certain circumstances, picking your rioting outfit for Instagram. No. Taking pictures with a drill in front of a board and then walking away without actually fixing anything. No. But if self-gratification and making yourself feel good is the end result of you doing good for the world, then by all means, go for it, homie. Yeah. Go socially jerk yourself off. I'm here for it. And I'm not saying that's what you did by any means,
no,
but
it feels good to give back.
Of course. And if that's why you do it, then I am cool with that.
He's totally right, but that obviously wasn't my intent. This was something that, and again, I said this in the last podcast. For the first time, I feel like I've woken up. I've come into an inkling of my own as an adult. And you know, I said in the last podcast as well, it's taken me 25 years to realize, like, holy shit, we have an audience, we have a platform, we have people that listen. Bro, the amount of white people that texted me based on my little speech about white privilege and the injustice in the last episode is remarkable. I didn't know how many white folks had no idea that this type of thing was taking place or existed. Like, they're saying I changed their perspective on what it means to be a white person. And, like, you know, we dove into the idea of white privilege a little bit, and I got pretty fiery about its existence. Yeah. And it's not to take anything away from the white people who have been or who have had a tough life. Yeah. All it is saying that your life has not been made harder by the color of your skin.
See, I like what you did there, Eddie. It gives me an easy lead when we do get to this, starting at the bottom bracket of solutions. Like, at least admit to the small things, acknowledge. That's it, and be aware of them.
Recognize, and I've looked around and noticed that I could probably command a hefty group of people. Should I direct energy in that way? Recognize. Now I'm weaponizing. Yeah. Now I'm attempting to influence. Being an influencer, finally having an influence.
I talked with Spencer about this today. He actually used the same word as, like, weaponize. I don't know if that's the right mentality to have, because it's not necessarily a weapon. You remember in Arrival when the aliens come and they talk about having, like, the word that they mess up is weapon and it's supposed to be tool. The scary part is when it's a weapon. It's not a tool. It's not a weapon. It's a massive tool.
Or like a bandage. It's like you're like the triage guy.
Because I understand what you're saying when you say weaponize, but you're really just mobilizing the ability to activate people and say, this is, you know, where we're going. There's a fork in the road and we're not going down that road anymore.
Facts. Nice. Don't pick up any weapons, because you're absolutely right. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's a power in us white folk that now I'm telling you, if you're watching this podcast, it's your responsibility to activate on that. Like knowing everything we just talked about, I have to commend all the black people that were marching at the protest yesterday, and especially the ones who got in that front line. And there was one woman who was so vocal and so powerful and inspirational. She was commanding a group of like 1,000 protesters because of how fiery and passionate she was. And that video with Keke Palmer that went viral. Did y'all see that? You didn't see that?
I did not.
Keke Palmer snapped. She
No, unfortunately, I couldn't see anything online because it was all black boxes.
you make a good point. Let me play this video.
Saying once the looting starts, the shooting starts. You have a president talking about the Second Amendment as a use for people to come out here and use firearms against the people that are protesting. This is the messages that we're seeing. I don't know if you are on social media because the news don't tell you everything. But you have to pay attention to what's going on. Or else we have a president that's trying to incite a race war. And when the borders are closed, we can't leave. You have people in here that need your help. This is when you and y'all.
So she's talking to the National Guard, and we got the privilege of walking up during this moment. Like
Really?
Yeah, dude. I'm 2 feet behind the person filming, and
He's listening. I like that guy.
Bro, they all were listening. I believe this is the National Guard. By the way, what's the determinant between telling the difference between an army versus National Guard?
The camos and M16s are usually the giveaway.
No, but army.
The army
I thought
wouldn't.
the army was coming at a certain point.
I don't believe the army was
I'm
deployed.
mistaken. Okay.
There was threats.
But yeah.
There was threats of it.
But yeah, they were listening. It was awesome. And this officer was like, "Listen, she wanted them to walk with her." He's like, "I can't. I have to stay at my post. But I walk with you to the end of the street." And Keke was like, "Yo, that's not good enough for me." And he offered to take a knee, and we all did. Keke left, but everyone else took a knee. He took a knee, and it was just it was a very beautiful moment that I was happy to be a part of. And then I saw this video go viral, and I said, "This is what we need right now."
It's everything we need. Shout out to every cop and every National Guard soldier that did this, that had a conversation, that met with the streets and talked about it, took a knee, took a walk, whatever you were able to do at your post. Like, this is the stuff we need. This is how you make it work.
Bro, at the protest, there's some stuff that was fun. I mean, you know how often I'm mistaken for Jake, right?
Yeah.
So given the looting story about Jake that just came out, can you imagine like some of the reactions? I was actually pleasantly surprised with how many people didn't confuse me yesterday. There was probably like 5. Some of the reactions I got, I was standing on the front line, and this kid goes, "Yo, hey, weren't you just looting?"
Oh, God.
And like knee-jerk reaction, I was like, "No, that was my brother." And he goes, "So he was looting?" I was like, "Wait, no, fuck, no. I go, "All right, so A, no, that was my brother. B, he wasn't looting. No, please, just I'm Logan. Hello."
Yeah.
That's what he said. Fuck.
Danny said, "Yo, Logan just admitted his brother was looting."
And then I'm walking up Vine Street. A girl passes me, sees me. She goes, "Oh, now he wants to protest." I go, "Please, that was my brother, please." She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." But people were so, I don't know, dude. It was just so, I was affected. I've already said it, but please go attend a protest. The energy and like, you can't underestimate the power of a group of people with the same goal in mind.
I tried that first day. I tried. I went with you. We went at the wrong time. All right.
What do you mean?
Well, I know you're not. I'll be honest with you.
Like,
I felt a little.
We hit a mile, you're gonna have problems.
That's
need
not
to
why.
keep doing
I would have
what you're doing.
Okay.
You're doing great.
Okay.
You're on Twitter and
you're doing great, Mike.
you got a voice. We were leaving, and there were these workers boarding up, very sad, boarding up a small business. And I go, one of them recognized me, and their son's like, or he's like, "Can I take a picture for my son?" He was like, "Yeah," and he goes, "Do you want to take a picture with the drill and act like?"
He said that. Stop.
Swear.
Stop.
I go, "No, please, no, no."
He's talking about the infamous picture of the girl with the drill faking to fix a window so that she could post it on her fucking Instagram.
Thank you. She goes,